morning, Room 12 botanists. Last week we talked about the roots of plants. You know what's down here. These are roots. Today we're going to talk about the stems of plants. Here's a stem, here's a stem, here's a stem and a stem. I'm going to show you on my flannel board about stems. Here are the roots. Now I'm going to put a stem where the roots stop. The roots are under the ground. The stem goes up like that. Here's a flower. This is just my make-believe flower. So here are roots. The roots suck up the water. Then the stem sucks up the water and takes it to the leaves and the flowers. Not all stems go straight up and down. Sometimes stems go off to the side, and they're called vines like this. I did an experiment so that I could show you how stems suck up the water from the roots. Here's a glass of water. I'm going to put some food coloring in there, some red food coloring. Have you seen this before? This is what a lot of people use for dyeing Easter eggs. If it gets on your clothes, it never comes out, so you have to be really careful. I'm going to drop some drops of color in there. Look how this is getting all red. Now I'm going to show you my experiment. I put water and red food coloring in this glass, and I bought some carnations here. These are flowers called carnations, white carnations. And these three are still white. But I put some white carnations in the red water, and the stem sucked the water up into the flower. So I got a red flower and another red flower. I also did it with green food coloring. The stem sucked the green up into these, aren't they pretty, into these green carnations. They weren't green before, they were white like this. And I did the same thing with blue. Here's the blue water and blue carnations. Now I also put some celery. This is celery. We eat celery. We eat this root. I have to be careful this doesn't get on my patio here, or it will never come out. But if you break this, I'll break this other one. If you break this, you can see how, can you see? Oh dear, I got it on my pages. Can you see how that's gone up into the stems? See how it's all red? I'll be right back. I have to wipe up my... Just look at the... Here I am. This is why you have to be really careful with food coloring. I don't know if this is ever going to come out. I hope so. Whoa, it's on my table. You have to be really careful. Anyway, you saw how the dye came up into the celery and up into the flowers. The stems suck the water, and in this case the dye, right up into flowers or into leaves too. Now I'm going to show you, I have to move this just a minute. I'm going to show you some different kinds of stems. This is a succulent plant, and the stem takes the water right up into the leaves. This is a cactus plant, and maybe you didn't know this is a stem, but the part of the cactus that goes up is the stem. I stuck myself before on those sharp thorns, so be careful with cactuses. This one is called a ponytail palm. It's not really a palm tree, but here's the stem, and this plant started out in a place where there wasn't much water. So when it would rain, it would take all of the water out of from the roots, out of the ground into the this part of the stem. There's all water in there. The stem is holding the water. Here's another, this is a spider plant. It's stuck in here, and I want to show it to you because this one, look at the stems on this. These are vines that come off, and these little things on the ends are spiders. They're not really spiders, but we call them spiders, and someday you're going to get to plant one in a pot and take it home. See those stems? I have one other stem to show you. Well, this is your bean plant. This is like your bean plants. See, the stems are going up, but on bean plants, they eventually grow so that you have vines on them. This would love to climb up on a fence, but it's windy today, so it's blowing around. And I have one more thing to show you. We eat stems. We eat, do you know what this is? Broccoli. We eat the stems of broccoli as well as the top part is not a stem. It's a flower, but we eat the stem of the broccoli plant. We eat celery. Here's a piece of celery, and here's a little piece. You can see the leaves on that piece. And these are all stems. One more. Do you ever eat asparagus? This is asparagus, and every time you eat asparagus, if you eat it, you are eating a stem. So today you will get a stem to taste, plus a few roots too. So have a good week. I'll see you next week. Bye, Room 12 botanists.